what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews. You can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I posted a ton of stuff on our Facebook page, so if you haven't already, go hit the like on there. I posted a live set from Polaris, as well as an update video, just kind of giving you an idea of what's going to be coming up in the next couple weeks to about a month for Audio Addiction, as well as I'll be posting interviews with Gideon and Polaris in the coming weeks, so definitely be on the lookout for that. It was a great time. Shout outs to both of those bands. They are killer. And I also kind of took a break over this weekend. I hadn't posted a lot. I typically don't post a lot on the weekends, but for this weekend I really kind of went ghost. So for those of you who are expecting this review to be out earlier, I'm sorry, but this album actually came out this past Friday, so definitely go check it out. But that band that we're going to be talking about now is Belmont, and their newest record is their self-titled. I found out about this band a little while ago. They are actually homies with our homies in Chief State, so I was recommended to check out this band, and they are absolutely awesome. They signed with Mutant League probably a little while ago, maybe about a year or two ago at this point, and this is their first full-length studio record, and I was so excited to get my ears on this one. I just have been hearing really nothing but good things. I listened to the singles, I really liked it, so I really wanted to delve into the record, give you my thoughts and opinions on all the tracks, go through some pros and cons, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track is called Empty. This one has that very sort of nostalgic, very classic pop punk vibe to it. Vocally, I feel like their vocals has a technicality to it. He has this really awesome vocal prowess in the songs, and I love the way that they arranged his vocals in the chorus. I think that they did some really nice harmonizations and like layering on the track that really work with what he's going for. I like the change up in beat in the bridge of the song. I feel like it's very much the story so far infused. It has that sort of story so far sound to it, which I love, especially like older stuff. I think this track is definitely straight to the point, and as a track you expect from a band like this, very pop punk focused, very, if this was your first time listening to them and you just listen to track one, you kind of get an idea of what they're for and what they're about, and I definitely feel like it is a solid opener track. So we're gonna move into track number 2, which is Recluse. This one's one of my favorites. I'm loving the flow of this track initially. It really flows well at the end of sort of Empty, and then at the beginning of this song. I think that the songs mesh very well together, and I think I've noticed that throughout the entire record, listening to it many times. I think that it really has a cohesiveness that is unlike a lot of pop punk bands where the songs really flow into each other and have a nice sort of groove to it. But getting back to the track in general, really digging the guitar riffs on this track. I think they are really awesome. The first verse has more of a punk feel to it, while the second verse has more a sound that aligns more with the choruses of this song, a little bit more melodic, a little bit more reserved, which is definitely cool. I love the breakdown at around the 2 minutes and 18-second mark to around the 2 minutes and 47-second mark. I think it adds a really cool cut to the track that, in comparison to the more melodic natures of the choruses, really offers a nice sort of counterbalance in the song that is just a little bit different, and I don't think that a lot of bands have that sort of heavy element to it. It almost feels borderline like easycore in the way that it's approached with. So definitely appreciate the sort of technical aspects of the track, and I like that they did more of a switch up in terms of the rhythm of the track. So we're gonna move into track number 3, which is Write Me Off. This is my personal favorite off the entire record. I think that it is probably the most cohesive song that is written on the record. It's just structured really well. Loving this sort of solo soft guitar in the intro, and as the song kind of comes into its own, the awesome guitar riffage comes out. Loving the drums as well. I feel like it has more of a progressive element to it. Their drummer feels like more of that progressive aligned stuff. Like you can hear some of the ghost notes, you can hear some syncopation, some of the more technical stuff that you'd hear from a progressive band, but actually infused in a pop punk band is really awesome. But it also retains a lot of the catchy elements that I love from pop punk bands like State Champs, Real Friends. I feel like this one really harkens to that sort of side of music, but also has that sort of technical aspect that you would hear from maybe like a band like Periphery, bands that have more of a technical prowess to them. Instrumentally, it's also my favorite track as well. I just feel like it is just well executed. It has a level of technicality, but it also has a really great level of melodicness and catchiness to it. Vocally, I think it is very solid as well, but I would love to hear some more experimentation in terms of the vocal lines. So we're going to move to track number 4, which is Pushing Daisies. This one is another favorite of mine. They released a music video of it on Friday, I believe, and is another phenomenal track. Instrumentally, it's a great follow-up to Write Me Up. I think it's just as impressive instrumentally as well. And it has a definitely groove and bounce to it. I was going to combine bounce and groove together, and that was not going to work out. But anyway, it's a little bit slower, but I think it works well with the sort of the vibe of the track. Obviously, track number 3, Write Me Off, has more of that pop punk feel to it. This one feels a little bit more edgier, has more of a rock sort of alternative feel to it, which is definitely nice. And I like that they bring an element of technicality to their work, as if track number 3, Write Me Off, didn't have enough technicality to it. I feel like this one really did as well too. There's this awesome breakdown at the 2-minute mark to around the 2 minutes and 18-second mark in this track as well. And I like that this one features more of the aggressive side of this band. It has a little bit of screams, a little bit of like aggressive tonality to it that I think was definitely needed. Track number 5, which is the interlude, and this one features Shinigami. And for those of you who don't know who Shinigami is, it is kind of like a emo rap sort of vibes to their track. I really don't know how to relate it. I'm not too proficient in that sort of style of music, but I definitely feel like it has that sort of emo rap prowess to it. What I will say that this track is very catchy, it's very infectious, but it is kind of like a 180 in terms of what you've been expecting so far on the record and what you actually get on the record. I think it is very interesting. It is a unique track, and it's definitely the black sheep of the record. So we're gonna move into track number 6, which is Albert. This one is another single that they had released. It has more of a happy, sort of fun, upbeat pop punk vibe to it, much in the same vein as track number 1, which is Empty. The chorus really has a awesome chorus that is definitely super catchy, and for those of you who love pop punk, I think this is another great one. It has awesome elements that, to me personally, make a phenomenal pop punk track. It has a memorable chorus with a really good hook to it. Instrumentally, I feel like it really backs that sort of sentiment of memorable choruses and sort of memorability to the song, and it also has great vocal performances with enough diversity. I think that this one has some great moments to it. I don't know quite if it's my favorite yet. I'm still kind of on the fence about it, but I think it is a solidly written track. So we're gonna move into track number 7, which is Hollowed Out. This one is a single, the first single that was released, and it actually happens to be one of my favorites as well. Digging this sort of more melodic nature in the verses, and the harmonization vocally, I think, is really awesome too. It adds a sort of depth to the track that I felt like is definitely needed, and is almost a little bit underrated throughout this entire record. I would have loved for them to have some more vocal moments that would have made it more interesting. I also love this sort of expansive range in the chorus. I think that their vocalist definitely went a little bit far out of his comfort zone, and I think that it definitely worked with the song, and I think that it really fits with the whole vibe of what they're going for in this song. I love that it has sort of a bouncy, sort of fun vibe to it. There's a really great breakdown at around the 2-minute mark to around the 2 minutes and 20-second mark, and I think that it really kind of carries over instrumentally towards the ending of the track, but another solid one. and another favorite of mine as well. So we're gonna move into track number 8, which is Maplewood. The guitars really stick out to me in this track. I think it has some really great energy to it. It happens to be another favorite of mine as well. The vocal performance definitely matches that sort of high energy, high octane feel to it. It definitely has more of a punk vibe to it initially, and then into the second verse, I feel like it takes more of a melodic turn. Especially with the sort of stagnated vocals, I thought that was really a cool touch. There's just a whole host of things that they did really well on this track, and it's definitely worthy of being one of my favorites off the record. So we're gonna move into track number 9, which is Convalescence. This one is another favorite of mine as well. This one definitely has more of a punk feel to it, very fast paced, very energetic, and I definitely appreciate about this track. I feel like the drumming sticks out to me the most in this track. It's really good, and some of the fills shows off again more of that bits of flair, but also that level of technicality that I have been mentioning a lot. I feel like this one definitely has more of those sort of technical moments while it being more of a punk track. I think it highlights a lot of this sort of faster moments of the drumming going along in this track. The guitars also keep up with that sort of high energy, high octane sort of feel to it, which is definitely nice. And there's this awesome sort of break slash bridge starting at the 2 minutes and 30-second mark and really going just to the end of the track. I like that they added vocals about halfway through in this track. I think it really makes it unique, and it's definitely a track that I would recommend, and it happens to be another favorite of mine. So we're gonna move into the track number 10, which is the last track, which is BMC. This one is another favorite of mine, and I think it combines a lot of the greatest elements of Belmont throughout this LP. It has some really great catchy moments, but also instrumentally really has this awesome melodic touch to it, but also keeping sort of that sort of awesome technicality that I have been mentioning multiple times throughout this record. The bridge was a bit odd at first, but I love the sort of interesting stops, and I think that it really makes it unique. And then every time I got to this track off the record, I knew I was getting close to the end and that the record was going to be starting over again, which is always really cool. And I think it is a great closer track. While most of these tracks are like right around under 2 minutes, or like right around 2-ish minutes, 2.5 minutes, and then they have tracks that are maybe closer to 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. It's been really cool. It's really fast paced and very interesting. So some pros and cons that I have on this record: I think it's really catchy. It's probably one of the catchiest pop punk records to be released this year, without a doubt. I think technicality. I think that what they do here just separates them from a lot of other bands, and I think that that's really cool because they do have that sort of progressive element to it, but also really very much in tune and in keen with pop punk. So it definitely combines those sorts of elements, especially instrumentally. You can kind of feel those tracks that have more of that punk feel to it. You have tracks that have more of that progressive, more feel to it, like Write Me Off, Pushing Daisies, and then you have some more like pop punk focused tracks like Empty, Convalescence, and things of that nature. And then you have tracks like the interlude that they have that has more of that emo rap sort of vibe to it. The structure and the songwriting is really well executed as well. I think there was some moments where I was kind of iffy on, but generally speaking, I think it is very structured well. Some cons that I have: I feel like vocally it's a little bit lacking. There are some tracks that are really great. I think Hollowed Out is probably one of the best vocal tracks off the record, maybe excluding Pushing Daisies because it has more of that aggressive nature, and I like that. But I feel like there wasn't a lot of vocal presence on this record, and I would love to hear more of that, just because I feel like the technical elements of this band really make it, and they had some really just maybe not over the top vocals, but they had some more interesting arrangements vocally. I think this would have definitely been a little bit higher up on my tier list. And I think that this record, while it may not be necessarily a con, it is relatively quick. Like I said, most tracks are kind of around the 2 minutes, 2.5 minute mark, and then they have some tracks that are kind of 3.5-ish minutes marks, and you can just go right through it. It's like 10 tracks. It's very quick. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I also feel like it's not really a good thing either. It just feels very quick, and it just feels kind of just over with, upon first listen. But you know, that's just my opinion. I have no idea. I just feel like it was something to mention. But my overall rating for Belmont's self-titled, I'm going to be giving it a 9.4 out of 10. I definitely feel like it's a band you should keep an eye out for. They really have different elements that I feel like a lot of other pop punk bands don't have, and I like that a lot. In a genre that is very saturated, I think that they definitely stand out amongst a lot of other bands, and I appreciate that. I'm excited to see them on Wednesday. They are playing with Such Gold, and I'm really excited to see how they play, how they kind of pair up to themselves live in comparison to, you know, a record. And I'm definitely excited to get my hands on the self-titled. I'll probably pick it up from them without a doubt. But let me know in the comments what you think about the new self-titled record from Belmont. Like I said, it's a band you should go check out. Links are in the description. And definitely go pick it up. First week sales means a lot to bands. I know that they say it a lot, and I know that a lot of people don't, or a lot of people care to mention it. I can definitely say without a doubt, if you want your band to come to your city or your country, pick up the record, because it will definitely help them get to those places in the future. But thank you guys for watching this review. Like I said, plenty of awesome stuff in the pipelines. Check our Facebook page. Plenty of awesome stuff came out on that this past couple days, so definitely peep those if you get the chance to. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like, share it, definitely share it to Belmont. That would be super sick. May or may not have an interview with them, I'll let you know, but I'd be really stoked if they came on to do an interview with moi. So my name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.